Thousands of people buy this best-selling scooter on Amazon every month because it's the cheapest. Thousands more buy this Segway Ninebot Max GT3 because it's the world's most famous commuter scooter. And honestly, for most people, those are pretty decent choices. Everybody's commute is different, so let's find exactly the right scooter for your commute. If you want to replace your car with an electric scooter or just commute 2 to 3 times a week and save a ton of money on gas, it's critical that you pick the right electric scooter for how far you want to go, how fast you like to ride, plus 4 other factors you need to know if you're going to pick the right scooter. I tested more than 200 electric scooters while I was at Electric Scooter Guide from all of the major brands. I've torn them apart, I've raced them, and now I work in the industry. I love scientifically testing scooters. That's the only real way to be objective when you've ridden a couple hundred scooters. So let's use that experience and test data to find an electric scooter that exactly fits you and your commute. First thing I'm going to need you to do is get out Google Maps and find out exactly how far your commute is, because we're doing this in 4 sections by distance. Tier 1, last mile commuters. For rides like this, many people pick this $150 to $200 best-selling Amazon scooter because honestly, it's so cheap you hardly need to think about it. It gets you from the bus stop to class, or if you keep it in the trunk of your car, it turns a bad parking spot into a good one. For distances like these, it almost doesn't matter what you ride. You don't care about range that much, you don't care about speed because the distances are short, and you don't even care that much about reliability because if it strands you, it's not that far to walk. If it does break, you could always recycle it. For last mile commuting, what you do care about is weight. Almost any lightweight scooter works as long as you can throw it in your trunk or carry it upstairs. That way you don't have to lock it up. So for ultra short commutes, you can get away with a cheap scooter. If you have the budget, my favorite upgrades are the Segway Ninebot E3 Pro starting at $599 and the VMAX VX6 Pro starting at $449. The big difference that you'll notice riding a premium scooter versus a budget scooter is a much smoother ride and much faster hill climbing. Another key differentiator is reliability and longevity. Scooters like Segway and VMAX are built like vehicles, not like toys. They come with 2-year warranties. You'll find spare parts available on the company's websites, and they're designed to keep going for years and years. If your budget is $200 or less, by all means, get the cheap scooter. It's way better than walking. On the other hand, if you have $500 to spend and plan on riding for a year or more, I think it's worth it to go straight for the upgrade of the VMAX or the Segway and skip the $200 budget scooters altogether. Next up is Tier 2. Let's talk about this standard city commute. This is like 3 to 5 miles. First, let's talk about the fact that every range spec you'll ever see is wrong. Why is that? Well, it's because some electric scooter company, I don't know who, started quoting the maximum range at some point, and all of the other companies had to follow suit, or it would look like they're just not competitive. The rule of thumb is if you want the real world range, take the spec range and divide by 2 and you'll be pretty close. For example, that best-selling Amazon scooter quotes 21 miles, but in the real world, I rode it 12.1 miles. The Ninebot Max GT3 quotes 50 miles of range, but I rode it 21.8, and the VMAX VX6 Hub quotes 56 miles, and I rode 29.9. All of those were on the same range test course with the same rider. Here's a good tip to follow when you're picking an electric scooter. Take your round-trip commute and multiply it by 2 to pick how much spec range your scooter should have. So if you have a 5-mile commute, your round trip is 10 miles, so you should buy an electric scooter with a specified range of at least 20 miles. Of course, more range is better even if you don't use it every day. In Tier 2, we're looking at commute distances of 3 to 5 miles, top speeds of 19 to 24 miles per hour, and ride times of 15 to 25 minutes. Here, you're going to be looking at 20 to 30 miles of real-world range. That's going to give you plenty of juice to get there and back, even if you forget to charge for a couple days in a row. 3 to 5 miles is really the sweet spot to start commuting with because it's a little too far to walk, but a scooter gets you there in 10 to 12 minutes. So your whole commute gets done in about the same amount of time it would take to park a car in a busy neighborhood. My 2 favorite scooters for commuting 3 to 5 miles are the original Ninebot Max G30 and the VMAX VX6 Pro GT. I picked them because they have top speeds of 19 to 24 miles per hour because 15 miles per hour gets pretty boring after about 5 miles. With real-world ranges of 29.5 miles, you might only need to charge once a week. For a 5-mile commute, the Tier 1 sort of toy scooter from Amazon is no longer a good fit because the ride will vibrate your hands numb after 15 minutes, and 5 miles is kind of too far to walk home if it breaks down. When Segway brought out the original Ninebot Max G30 in 2019, it just crushed everything, and it just dominated the commuter category for 4 years. It was the gold standard, basically the Toyota Corolla of scooters. In my testing at ESG, it topped out at 18.4 miles with 21.6 miles of real-world range. So if your commute is relatively short, the Ninebot Max G30 is a legend, and you can sometimes find them at really good prices. But for those with a lot of hills in their lives, The 36-volt system of the Ninebot is starting to show its age. Even on a 10% grade hill, my testing of the Ninebot Max G30 had it slowing down to 8 miles per hour. And that's why we brought out the VMAX VX6 Pro with a 48-volt system with more top speed and hill climbing power. It reached the top of the 10% grade test hill 50% faster than the Ninebot Max G30. This is because the VMAX is designed in Switzerland by big Swiss guys who need to ride up big Swiss hills. The VMAX hits a top speed of 24 miles per hour, so definitely compare prices and compare your need for speed. One of these two will probably be the best choice for your 3 to 5 mile commute. Before we get to tier 3, I've got a couple bonus scooters. The first one is the new NIU KQi Air. The KQi Air is an impressive scooter, weighs 26 pounds, climbs a little bit faster than the Ninebot, and a top speed of 20 miles per hour. KQi Air costs about $1,000 when it's on sale. This next ultra lightweight commuter is the only ultra lightweight in the world that will climb the world's steepest hills, and that's the carbon fiber VMAX VX6. It weighs 34 pounds and outclimbs dual motor electric scooters. For example, when I tried to climb the steepest hill in San Francisco with the dual motor Apollo Go, it was a no-go. The VMAX VX6, on the other hand, has a gear drive motor. That's the hidden superpower of the VX6. It's right here. This is a gear drive motor. It not only makes the scooter lightweight, but gives it insane hill climbing power. It takes its climbing spec to 38%, which is way beyond the steepest hills most people will ever need to climb. The VMAX VX6 is light to carry, has heavyweight climbing abilities, but also has a heavy price tag at close to $2,000 for this hand-built carbon fiber scooter. Now we're on to tier 3. These are the 6 to 10 mile commutes. And at these distances, we're starting to save some real money. For example, if you have a 10-mile commute, you can save up to $5 a day on gas, another $5 a day on wear and tear, and probably way more than that on parking. Segway continues to dominate this class with the next generation 2025 Ninebot Max G3. If the old Max was the Corolla, the new Ninebot Max G3 is the Camry of this category and the absolute benchmark for commuters. It has great suspension, an amazing app, good reliability, and it's got good parts availability. Who should get the Max G3? If you love dorking out on apps, but also don't mind being forced to use the app and are happy at 28 miles per hour, which is not bad, it's hard to go wrong with Max G3. I have one here at home with me for testing, and it's a great scooter. But watch out for the range on the Max G3. Shortly after the Ninebot Max G3 came out, the YouTube reviews started coming in with reports of 17 miles to 19 miles of range. Now, Segway's answer to this was that there was a $300 add-on little piggyback battery pack that would greatly extend the range, and it does that. But it's often not available like right now. And if you combine that with the cost of the G3 itself, you're looking at a $1,500 scooter. My other all-around favorite scooter for commuting is the VMAX VX6 Hub. If I had to pick one scooter to do absolutely everything, the VX6 Hub would be my pick. With its top speed of 33 miles per hour, it goes as fast as I ever really want to go, and it's got enough range to comfortably cover 99% of city commutes. In the real world, I've ridden the VX6 Hub 29.9 miles on the ESG range test course in beast mode. It will also climb the world's steepest hills, unlike the Ninebot Max G3. Here you'll see I tried the Ninebot Max G3 on the steepest hill in San Francisco, both from a standing start and from a running start, and it wouldn't go, whereas the VX6 Hub from a standing start makes it to the top. Now, I know I'm going to get called out on this because, of course, I work for VMAX. I want to be very clear about that. But, you know, the data is the data, and other reviewers agree as well. Like this comment from Tim right here.
The best all-around electric scooter, I'm gonna go with the VMAX, the VX6 Hub. Amazing scooter. It was super comfortable, had all the things you expect to have on an electric scooter, plus amazing range.
Well said, Tim. We're coming into tier 4. These are commutes of 11 miles and beyond, and scooters that can really go car-like speeds on the road. These scooters are fast enough to flow with traffic, and we need to talk about range again here because there is another factor coming into play, and that's speed. And I have to give Alex Simon credit for this one. He's the guy that rode coast to coast across the United States on some 50-mile-per-hour scooters. And what he told me was that he found the range just plummeted above 25 miles per hour. So he rode coast to coast at 25 miles per hour because of the range. So the rule of thumb here is we've already divided the spec range by 2 to get your normal range when you're riding around the city. But if you can be riding at speed, you have to divide by 4. Big ranges become short really fast if you're going at full speed. Here are my picks for Tier 4, and I'm going to give the VX2 Hub an honorable mention here. The 33 mph top speed and 29.9 miles of tested range, the VX2 Hub also fits comfortably in with the 11+ mile commuters. But if you want a power cruiser, the ultimate touring scooter, that's where the new VX4 comes in. With a top speed of 37 miles per hour, a peak power of 2,800 watts from a single rear motor, long travel suspension, adjustable preload, and hybrid off-road tires. What I love about big single motor scooters like this is it's got gobs of power. It will climb any hill, but you don't get really tired riding it because it's not yanking your arms the way that a dual motor electric scooter will. Let's get into the hyper commuters. Segway's new GT3 Pro claims a top speed of 50 miles per hour, up to 86 miles of range at 50 miles per hour, and looks like a lot of fun. I've tested Segway's GT1 and the GT2, but not the GT3 Pro yet. In the hyper scooter category, I cannot emphasize this enough. It is the most important category to buy from a well-known brand. You're gonna put a lot of miles on it and you're gonna end up really far from home sometimes. So it's really important that it be reliable. And then there's safety. Please do not try to go car-like speeds on a toy-grade scooter. It's just not worth it. The plus side of hyper scooters, they will slice through traffic faster than cars and have you smiling the whole way there. Now the downside is weight and cost. The GT3 is a whopping $26.99 and weighs in at 117 pounds, which is too heavy for most people to carry upstairs by themselves. For something more affordable, if you can wait until this summer, VMAX is bringing out the new dual motor VX6, the same top speed as the GT3 Pro, similar battery size, and all the specs that you would expect from a hyper scooter like dual hydraulic disc brakes, and 6,000 watts of peak power. But it weighs 22 pounds less than the GT3 Pro, and the VX6 is expected to start at around $2,000. Get subscribed because I'm going to try to get my hands on both of these scooters at the same time and make a head-to-head video later this summer. So which one replaces your car? Well, if you have $200 to spend and a 1-mile commute, you know, this best-selling Amazon scooter gets it done. Just know that it's essentially disposable and gets a little uncomfortable on longer rides. Then as you step through the other tiers, it's really hard to go wrong if you stick with the name brand scooters like Segway, VMAX, Apollo, and New. Just make sure that there are spare parts available for your individual scooter before you buy, so you don't end up with something you can't fix. As somebody who's been commuting on 2 wheels for years now, I highly recommend trying it. You'll get to work faster, you'll save a ton of money, and it's a lot of fun. I'm Paul Somerville from VMAX. Scoot safe.